Today I'm going to show you how to make this super cute bow that I have translated, and obviously I've gone with the back to school theme on this one with the gingham print. So obviously this one I'm going to refer to as a triangle point bow because I can't get a closer translation, and obviously you've got this super cute one. This is in 1 inch, but the version we're going to be doing today is going to be in 1.5 inch ribbon. And obviously you can do the gingham this side with the plain in the centre, or you can do it the opposite way with the solid colour on the outside and the gingham in the middle. And I've done a little bit of a scrunchy middle on this one just to give it a little bit of an effect. And on these ones, obviously I've not done a base bow on this, it's just the main bow. On these two, because I use less ribbon, because this is double-sided ribbon, and this is where it comes naturally black one side and the gingham print this side, so you use less ribbon, so we only need 2 pieces for the main bow and 1 piece for the base bow, rather than 4 pieces which we layer and heat seal together for the main bow that we're going to do for this version. So like I said, you can use less ribbon if you've got double-sided, and like I said, I've got this adorable, this is like a mustardy yellow one with the black gingham. Like I said, I've done the base bow on that one. And like I said, you've got the half pinwheel base bow on the little tiny miniature one, because obviously it's slightly less ribbon on this as well. I'll put the measurements for both the 1 inch and the 1.5 inch in the description, because obviously I do know that I sometimes talk too fast and you can miss when I'm speaking, or I occasionally muddle my words, so I'll put that all in the description for you, along with any stitch placements and things like that, because like I said, I know my counts can be a little bit confusing for some people. So I've got my ribbon here. I have got 44 centimetres of 1.5 inch ribbon for the half pinwheel, optional, and then I have got 4 pieces, so 2 of this like burgundy red shade, I think it might be ruby or scarlet, I can't be sure without getting my chart out, but 2 pieces of ruby and 2 pieces of the gingham, and I have joined those together by heat sealing my ends and pinching until they were joined. Now be extra careful when you do this, because obviously you can burn yourself on that edge, so just be very delicate with that, sort of pat them together, don't sort of immediately do this because you will hurt yourself. I have very little feeling in my fingers left nowadays, and this is 4 times 32 centimetres. Okay, but like I said, all the measurements are in the description below. And the first thing you want to do is fold both these pieces in half and crease centre, and we do that on both. And I'll show you a little trick to find the other 2 points without having to get your ruler out. This trick works on this. So if you fold that down to a triangle like this and hold it there, fold that like so, so you've got like a little square, and if you did happen to measure it, you'd find that it's 1.5 inches, which is obviously the same length as ribbon, and you want 1.5 inches for this bit that I'm going to show you in a second, and we're going to repeat on this one. So fold your triangle, hold your finger there, fold that over, heat crease, go it that way, heat crease that side, and that'll just give you nice clear creases to see for when we put our folds in. Now if you want the gingham on the inside, we start pattern side down and plain side up. If you want the gingham in the centre, you do gingham side up like so. Obviously I'll go much slower in a minute, I just want to show you. So like I said, that's difference, like I said. So you can play around and you can do it either way and it will still look equally cute. On this one, so I've done that one. Ooh. Excuse me, just knocked my camera. So on this one I've done it gingham side in the centre, so this one I'm going to do the solid in the centre, so I'm just going to check again. Yep, so we want gingham side up to do that. Just going to move that out of the way. Okay, so we start gingham side up, and here we've got our crease mark. We'll be able to see that more clearly on your version. In fact, I'll do it this way just so you can see the creases better. So if we do solid side up, we've got a crease here, the centre here, and the crease here. And what you want to do is you fold this corner down like this, so that this is lining up with this crease here, and then you can hold that, and then we want to take this one where the crease is this side, we want that side to match up here, and I'm going to move that point that downwards, and again another clip this side just to hold them in place. And obviously this one's underneath, so when you're doing your first fold, always do the fold with the one that's tucked under, not this one, because it sort of holds this one in place. And you want to line that up with this edge here, and this point wants to be on this bit here, because that's where we go through for our first or last stitch, depending on which side we start. And it wants to be all levelled up like so, so it's straight. And again, this one, take that one, can move a clip, and again we want this point on this corner here. And this is what the back will look like, and this is what the front looks like. Now occasionally what you'll notice when you're using pattern and solid ribbon on top of each other, some plain ribbon is a touch smaller or larger than some pattern prints by a couple of millimeters. So occasionally, if these aren't perfectly lined up, or even if they are, you will occasionally get this like little line of white, but it's better than having the whole bit of white unless that's your personal preference. So this is a look you get, and we're going to repeat that step again. We're doing gingham in the centre, so plain side up, hold it here where your crease is, fold that to the corner so your tail is resting right where that crease is there, clip here from this corner, so this crease this side, we take that over there, we make sure that lines up with that side, and clip a second, make sure that stays lined up with that side, add a little clip, and then we always want to fold this side that's tucked underneath up first, line that up with the edge, and this one up with the edge and in the corner, same as our other piece. And again, this is your back, this is your front, fronts, backs, like so. So not that complicated, and what I like to do is I hold them like this to make sure both my pieces are even. Okay, and then I have got my double threaded Gutermann thread, extra strength, and a 7cm sharp darning needle, or you can use an upholstery needle or a crew needle, anything that is a bit longer and stronger than a standard size one. And what we want to do is, I won't count because like I said I'm terrible for counting on camera, but I will tell you where we need to start. We need to start, so we've got like this and it's going down into the triangle. We want to go through those layers and through here, and that's our first stitch in. And once I put these in, I'll tell you where they need to be as well. I'm glad I checked that one because that had slipped down a little bit, so I brought it back up. And the last stitch needs to be going up. So I need to be going up through this point and through this triangle edge this side. And it is in, 1, across, 1, out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in total. And on the back you'll be able to see better. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that third one is just going across that mark here, and that is where these pieces overlap. Okay, so that middle stitch is where these join. Here it's directly across them, so we go in where that join starts and we come up where that join ends, and we're going to repeat it exactly the same on the other side. I'm just gonna do that. I'm just going to re-knot this because I can see that one's fallen out and I don't want to pull it all the way through and have it uncinch on me. Now obviously I always do the cinch around method and do mine in circle. If you feel like your bows don't align when you do that, then you can cinch at this point and you should have 4 creases. So you just stitch that off by threading through back in a little bit, stitching off in the back, and then you can make this piece and you could glue them together or sew them together. It's entirely up to you. But like I said, I do this method, which is doing the other 8 stitches this side and cinching around. And again, we want to be making sure that we're going through that point, so through that top layer, through where the corner's going down and into that one below, and the exact same amount of stitches this side. And don't be afraid if this bit has slipped and it's not completely level, lift it back up so you can get that stitch across the join of those ones overlapping. And like I said, last stitch up through that layer there, into the back of that triangle here as it's going down, and up through there, like so. And again, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is in, 1, 2, 3, out, 1, 2, 3, 4, and again, one of those stitches has overlapped that join, which is just here. So they're going into the join and out of the join, and that one's going over on the front. Let me see if I can make these a bit darker for you so you can see. So there you go, there's the 3, in, 1, 2, 3, and the back's nice and easy to see. You've got your 4 on the back. And like I said, that's exactly the same placement on both sides. And then when you're happy with everything, again, you can move your pin clips off both sides. And I cinch it so it's all nice like so. So you've got 4 creases both sides. And then what I do is line up this second side that we started with so that they're all even. And I thread all the way through as close to the original thread through as I can. And again, don't be afraid to use your desk to push your needle through, because sometimes it will take a little bit of force. If it ever gets stuck, I occasionally have those on my desk just for that very reason. And I pull through like so, and then I'm going to stitch from beneath at the back. And what I do I like to go between the 2 creases. So we've got 2 this side, 2 that side. And I like to go across there and pull that nice and tight, because that will stop that from coming open like that as well without glue. I'm going to do that again, go back through that. Stay as close to the centre as you can though, because we don't want to see these stitches when we wrap our centre, whether or not we just use 9mm or whether or not we use a 1-inch piece of ribbon to do a scrunchie or a knotted centre. So there we go. So that's across, and then I'm just going to back stitch in the back, and then we'll make our half pinwheel. There we go, that's our main bow. And like I said, if you want to, it's entirely up to you. You can just add your clip and centre at this point, and you'll get this cute version like this. Or like I said, you can wait a second and we will add the base bow. So we're going to do a freehand pinwheel, and this is 44 centimetres of ribbon in 1.5 inch. And what I do is, obviously we started long, I twist it round like this so that I've got this shape. So the 2 lines, and I'll just show you the back. On the back it's like a very tight Z shape. Let's bring that closer so you can sort of see. It's hard to tell on the colour, so like I said, that's what you get. Okay, so the other thing I do is to work out how much of the tail behind the bow I'm going to see, is I make this and I place my bow on top like this, and you can see you've got a little bit of a edge either side, and if you wanted a little bit more you can pull up like this and just sort of push it up so that there's less on this bit. If you wanted a little bit less, then you'd pull this way to shorten it so that you could see less either side. So like I said, we're going to do just a touch longer. And once you're happy with how much of that pinwheel you want to see behind it, and again it is purely personal preference, some people like to see, like I said, a good centimetre behind the bow. Some people like to only be able to see the barest hint to the tail, so like I said, work out what you personally prefer. But I put the 2 clips either side, and from this point to this point you bring them together As you can see, our tails are already lined up naturally. And what I do is you can pinch that, heat crease to get a nice crease to stitch through, like so. And I've already re-knotted our thread, and again I'm just going to put the stitches in and I'll show you once I'm done. There you go. So in 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in total. And you want to be doing your middle stitch directly over that join. And on the back you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's basically 1 in, second one over, 2 in the middle, 1 over, 1 out. Okay, and this gives it a really nice cinch, which helps keep the bow, the base bow, nice. This is what you get 6 creases in total. And then a wrap round, like so, a couple of times. And stitch off in the back, whatever you personally prefer. And if you watched a couple of my videos, you'll know I'm not one for sewing, so for gluing between the layers. So what I do is I'll come back up through that piece, through the centre, directly through there, like this. I've got this thread, and then we want to go directly through the centre of this one. And as you can see, we've got about a centimetre of this bits behind the bow, and a little bit longer for the tail, so we can curve the tails down once we've got everything sitting. And I wrap this round nice and tight, at least twice, potentially a few times depending on what you personally prefer, and then you stitch off in the back. What you'll also notice is this one curves upwards like this, which again I quite like in my bow. So I'm going to curve this down and this one up. There we go. Don't forget to heat seal it. And if you ever want to check that you're doing the same amount, you can take that side and use it as a guide. So that your tails are even. And again, heat seal that edge. And I do think I've just done that the wrong way. I have, but I'll be able to correct it. Yeah, pay attention to that. There we go. Evened it out. So as you can see the same amount on all sides. There we go. So now we can add our alligator clip, and this is a 55mm one. Just a touch of glue across the centre, not too much, just on the back there. And I've got a corresponding 9mm piece here, And I normally do at least 12 centimetres, normally about 16, so I've got enough to wrap round twice. Dot of glue just there. Open that up and you want to press that to the centre. Hold that for a second and then, like I said, wrap round nice and tight twice. And the reason we do a scrunchy one on this one is these don't always square up when you do the cinch method. So if that ever happens, like I said, put a dot of glue here. Don't overload it, just a little bit. Like so. And you can sort of use that to tighten that and flatten that, and give it a more squared look to your centre. But the tighter you get, the nicer it looks without pushing these bits outwards. There we go, touch glue on the back. And wrap round, and like I said, you can leave it like that if you want to, or if you've got some 1-inch ribbon, same colour as you can see, what you can do excuse me, so you could do a knotted centre like so. Show you again. So a nice knot like that, and you'd glue the flat side of that and wrap round. Or my favourite type of centre to do on these is, like I said, I've got 2.5 inches of 1-inch ribbon, and you fold an S shape one side, and we heat pinch that together. Again, be careful of not burning your fingers. And then we do the S the opposite direction on this side. So that's flat side this side, this is the curve up on this side. Again, just heat pinch that together, and you always want to glue on a side with a flat edge, which would be this one. Just a touch of glue there. Open your clip up, and then you twist that round, glue this other flat side, like so, round your clip, and how cute is that one? And like I said, this is the triangle point bow. Like I said, it's super fun in back to school colours. Like I said, you can do any other colours that you want. Like I said, if you've got double-sided ribbon, you can use only 2 pieces, so 2 times 32 instead of 4 times 32. If you've got the one-sided patterns, so any patterns where you've got this on one side and then like you can see the pattern slightly through the back, like I said, that's where you would use 4, so you can layer it. And thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you need any more help or advice on anything, the Facebook page and group are linked below. I'm always available to answer any questions, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.